Hi, Stampers. This is Sandy Harka, and we're here with the April 14th Stamp and Go. Tonight, we are going to be stamping with the Help Me Grow stamp set and dies. If you would like to get a free card kit to create two of each of these three cards tonight, you can place an order with me through Stampin' Up! For $35. And if your order is $50 or more, you will get an extra set of embellishments. The PDF with the measurements, photos, etc. will be out tomorrow. If you're on my mailing list, you will get that, so don't forget to download that. If you're not on my mailing list and you want to get on my mailing list, there is a link below in the general information section that you can click on, fill out the form, and you will get the PDF tomorrow if you fill that out tonight. Okay, the orders, as I mentioned, need to be placed through me and Stampin' Up! And there is a link below that can get you right straight to my shopping. All right, let's get started. This is the stamp set and the dies that are going with this stamp set. Now, I am not a gardener by any means. I do not enjoy trying to raise plants, etc. However, I do enjoy making cards that make me look like I am talented in that area. So, this is the first card that we are going to create today. You can see up close, a little bit closer, and you can see the details on that. So let us get started. The first thing we're going to do is stamp the greeting, and that is in vanilla, so you can just about see that on your screen there. And we're using Thinking of You. Now, this Thinking of You is not in this set, but I have someone I want to send this to. This is actually from the Simply Said stamp set. Now, you may have another greeting, or you may use one of the greetings in this stamp set to fill in this little piece. I'm using black ink. It doesn't matter which black ink you use because we are not doing any coloring on this, so it doesn't matter which black ink that you use. Now, we have a piece of linen thread that has been knotted right up here, and you can see how that's going to look shortly. So we're going to flip this over to the back side, and I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals back there. And I'm going to space them a little bit apart, just like this. And then I'm going to take this, separate the little legs here, we'll call them legs. And one of them is going to get embedded here. I did not take the toppers off. I do that all the time. It sticks better if you take the toppers off. All right, let's try that again. There we go. So we're going to layer that one in there. Then I'm going to hold that up here and layer the other one over here. Let's see if I can hold that straight. There we go. All right. Now, I am not going to turn it over to the other side because the toppers are off this, but we'll just lay it over to the side until we're ready to use that. The next thing we're going to do is work on the card base. And this is Petal Pink. It opens on the right-hand side. Let's just give that a little swipe with the bone folder so that it lays down a little bit more flatly. That'll help us be able to work with it more easily. The designer paper, we're going to use this side, but look at the other side. Isn't that gorgeous? Lovely and Beautiful, I believe is the name of that. All of the information on what we're using is in the PDF that will be coming out tomorrow for everyone. All right, we're going to layer that. Gives ourselves about 1/8 of an inch showing all the way around. Now we're going to work on the fence. So we have two thick pieces that we're going to pop on there first. So a little bit of glue on the back side. This one is going to come over about 1/2 inch from the left-hand side and down about 1/4 of an inch from the top. That leaves us this about 3/4. Actually, I'm going to pop that up just a little bit more. Okay, I think that's going to work better. Now the other post, I'm going to put a little glue on that. And we're going to come over about 3/8 of an inch from the first post there, just about right there. Now we have 3 cross pieces that are going to go on next. Going to add a little bit of glue to the back side of this. Now this one is going to come down about, I would say, an inch from the top of the pole there. We're going to pick up the next one and we're going to leave about 1/8 of an inch between these slats. We'll call them slats, the cross pieces. Okay, and we've got one more. And that's going to come down also about 1/8 of an inch from the other one. Just trying to make it about even with how much you left for the first one there. Okay. So the next thing we're going to pop on is this beautiful plant. And I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue on the back of that. Now you might want to try to stay away from the slits and the leaves that were caused, when they designed this, because that glue will pop through there if you're a little liberal with your glue. All right, now we have three leaves. And as I mentioned, I am not a gardener, so I probably do not have the names of these things. So we'll just call them the granny leaves because that's what color they are. All right, so I'm going to use glue dots so that we don't need to sit and wait for these to dry to move on because I'm sure you have better things to do than watching glue dry. All righty, we've got 3 of these. And we're going to put the other one just right next to it, but just at a little bit of the opposite angle right there. And then we have one that's going to go down at the other end of this plant. So about right here and about straight across from the rest of those. All right, we are going to put some flowers on those green leaves. And these are in poppy. I'm going to turn that one that way so I don't forget to put it on that way. So I am going to use a glue dot on the back of one of these flowers. Actually, I'm going to use 2 glue dots, one on 2 of these little flowers, just to hold it in place better. And that is going to go about right here. And then we're going to do the same with the other one, which is going to go up a little bit higher. And I see, let's turn the U that way. And that gives us a little better coverage. I am going to grab some glue dot or some rhinestones. I see I left those over at the other area, so I just grab those. We have 3 of those that we're going to pop on. One's going down here in this little flower. The other one is going up here. And number 3 is going to go right here. Wonderful. Now, the next thing we're going to pop on then will be the rake. And it comes in 2 pieces. This is actually the back side. There's the front side. And so we're going to glue dot the handle on. So I'm going to put a glue dot. Actually, let's put it on the back, on the front of this. Yes, on the front. No, on the back of it. Sorry. I forget how these tools go together. You know, I'm not a gardener, right? All right, so I'm going to put 2 on there. And then this is going right here on the neck of the rake. Now I am going to flip that to the back side. Down here at the bottom, I'm going to put a glue dot, but up here in that neck area, I'm going to put a mini dimensional. So that's going to pop out a little bit so that you can see, it gives it a little dimension there. And then this one is going a little bit angled this direction. So press down that glue dot and then press on the neck of that. That's where we put the dimensional. Now you can see we have those little strings there. I'm going to grab my ribbon scissors and just nip those off because I don't like to see that hanging down. However, if you do, it's okay. Now remember that we put the dimensionals on there and took the toppers off, so that should stick. And I'm going to pop this right here just at a tiny bit of an angle and press down. And then I'm going to put a glue dot. So I'm going to grab that glue dot, make it a little ball, and I'm going to hold this down so I don't accidentally pull that up and put this glue dot under that little dot, that little knot that we have there. And that should hold that in place. And I need to tuck that under a bit. And then we have one last thing to do. And these little butterflies were cut from gold foil. And they come from that Cute as a Bug set. And it is a Sweet Bug set, I believe is the name of that. It's adorable set. It has one die that has the butterflies, the snail, and the dragonfly. There's a little dragonfly in that one. Here's our number 2 and our number 3. All right, and this one is our last one flying away up in that direction. And then your card is ready for sending. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, we have classes every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we usually focus on one stamp set, and we make either 3 or 4 of 3 card designs. If you are interested in those or what the cards look like that we're making, you need to get on my mailing list because you'll see all the details there. Again, the address down below is the link for signing up for that. All right, let's move on to card number 2. And that looks like this. Okay. I love this designer paper. The names of all of that are in the PDF. So we're going to lay this over to the side, and we're going to start with the card base, which opens down here at the bottom. Then we have 2 pieces of the designer paper. You can see the other side is just as pretty as the top, or as this is the top that we're using right now. We're going to scoot that way up, but not quite at the top of the card base. And we're going to do the same thing with the second piece that's down here at the bottom. And that's going to go almost, but not quite all the way to the bottom. Just about, I'd say probably a 1/16 of an inch, maybe not even that. All right, the next piece that's going on is a piece of crumb cake. All these measurements are in the PDF. And it has been embossed with the exposed brick embossing folder. Now this piece is going right in the middle, just to give us some nice texture in there. Then we have dirt. Yes, dirt. This is one of the reasons I am not a gardener, because I'm not fond of playing in the dirt. However, it's fun when you're doing cards with it. All right, this piece is going right along the bottom of that crumb cake piece. Let me move it over just slightly. There we go. And right at the top of the designer paper. So let's hold that down for a second. All right, now we have 2 plants that are going to go in here and here. And actually, I really like the positioning of those. So you know what I'm going to do? Just going to leave them where they are. And we're going to put some glue dots underneath the leaves to hold the plant in place. So you can use regular glue. There's no need to use glue dots if you want to just use regular glue. I'm using them because I really like where I stuck those. So instead of trying to figure out where I need to put them the second time, I'm just going to put my glue dots underneath and hold those in place. All right, I think one more ought to do it. I'm using 3 glue dots per leaf. Now, if you do use glue, don't forget those little slits in there that are formed by the die. You need to be careful that your glue does not come back through there. All righty, the next thing we're going to do is put together the rake, just like we did before. So I'm turning the handle to the back side, and I'm going to put 1 glue dot right there at the top. That will be at the neck. And I'm going to put another one just right under that. That will hold a little bit more on the piece that sticks out there. So I'm going to press that down. Nice. Now I'm going to turn that to the back side, and I'm going to put another glue dot. Again, you are welcome to use regular glue. I'm putting a glue dot right there at the neck, and then I'm going to put one down here at the bottom to hold this in place. So when I turn this over, oops, I went it this way. We can stick that right under that leaf and press down. Nice. Okay. Now, we're going to work on that little pick that has the thanks in there. And this is the thanks that we're using, and the pick is in Azure Blue or Azure. Yeah, Azure Afternoon, I think. We're going to ink that up with any black ink because we're not coloring, so it doesn't matter. And I'm going to put a dimensional on the back of that. Let's close this up so I don't get in it. I am going to remember to take off the topper this time, which is really helpful. And then we're going to try to get that under the dirt right there and like between the two plants. So I'm moving it over so it's between the two plants. I think I'm going to raise that up just a little bit right there. Okay, I like that. Now, the last thing we have to do will be to put on the little tiny bees. And these are tiny. So I am going to put them on with half glue dots. So I'm going to cut that glue dot in half. And I'm going to scrape up one side of it, hopefully. Sometimes I mess this up. Well, looks like I messed that one up. So I'm going to go to the other side. Maybe I'm not getting on top of that. There we go. So I'm going to take one of those and put it on the back of that bee. Now this bee is going to come right over here and fly upwards in that direction. And I think I found that other little half of the glue dot, which was on my finger. That's going on the back of this one, and that little bee is going to fly up in this direction. Now we have one last bee because normally we put on three dimension or three embellishment. So I'm going to try this again, cutting that in half, and then that's going to go on the back of the third bee. And this little bee is right over here, flying up in this direction. All righty. So your card is ready for sending. I hope you're enjoying the cards this evening and our stamping together. If you do, please share and like and subscribe if you've not already done that. I would very much appreciate that. All right, let's work on card number 3, which looks like this. And this is your easy card for the evening. I like to do that one last in case you're getting tired and you won't have to think a lot for this. So let me lay this over to the side. We are using, again, a crumb cake base, and it opens at the bottom. Don't forget to do that before you start layering things on. Now, the overlay on this is, again, it's crumb cake, and it has been embossed with the exposed brick folder, which is one of those that's kind of a little outdoorsy, a little rustic, so that goes well with our gardening. Okay, you have a little bit of your card base showing all the way around, not a whole lot. Then you have 4 pieces of designer paper. And what we're going to do, we're going to lay these on there so we have good placement before we start gluing down. It looks like these need to come over maybe just a little. Let's see how this works out here in the center. Yes, I think that's working well. So let's straighten these up and then we'll start gluing. All right, so let us glue a little bit on the back side here. And we'll come back and put it right where we had it. Let's glue this side. Like I moved that piece. So that's why we're kind of working from the ends here. So that if you do mess up, you can still get them back in the proper place. Then we'll put the 2 on the inside in next. That way, if you need to juggle a little bit, you know exactly what space you have to work with. All righty, so we are good. The next thing that we're going to do then is work on our pot. And the pot is a separate piece from the saucer that it's sitting in. So we're going to flip that to the back side and I'll slide that over for a second. I am going to use a couple of glue dots to hold that saucer in place. Now that one's going right here. And the other one will go on the other end because we want to make sure that stays in place. Okay. Now, we're going to pop this on with dimensionals. So I'm going to go ahead and put dimensionals on there. And I'm going to put them over to the side because we're going to be slipping in a plant shortly. Did I get that? I think I put that on backwards, didn't I? Oh, I think I sure did. Yeah. You won't do that, but I'm going to flip mine to the other side. I'm going to just take these off. I don't I don't want that the glue dots left on the front there. So you'll pay attention and you won't be chatting, and so you'll do it the right way. All right. Let's this is the front side and this is the saucer front side. And so we're going to pop that right in there. Move it. I'm moving now again to the back side. We're just repositioning that. We're going to put the glue dot down there. I'm going to grab another glue dot here. There's one. And we're going to hold that here. And again, we are going to grab some dimensionals. Now, we'll go ahead and put one down here because that's where I was going to put one anyway. And then we're going to put one on each side up here at the top. All right, now we got it in the right direction. And I'm going to lay this over to the side for just a minute until we get finished with the spade. Now your spade looks like this, and this is the handle. So we're going to flip the handle to the back side, just like we did with the rake. I'm going to put a glue dot up here at the very top, and then I'm going to put one close by underneath, just like we did for the other two. And then we'll pop this over and attach it to the spade. Now I'm going to flip the spade to the back side. And we're going to add a glue dot up here at the top and at the bottom. And if you decide to use glue, remember those little slip marks there and your glue can pop through. So just be careful with that. It's going to come up about 1/4 of an inch from the bottom of your designer paper there. It's going to come out here. This little handle is going to come out here right to the end. Okay, just like that. Now we're ready to pop on the pot in the saucer. And that is going to go about right there. Okay. Now we're going to grab the plant, and I am going to go ahead and use a couple of dots of glue to hold that in. And we're going to slide that in this little slit that is right there and nail that down. Now, as you can see, a little bit of glue is coming through that little slit in the leaf. So just take something, preferably a cloth, and daub that up. Now we've got two of our little flowers, and I'm also going to pop a little glue on the back of those. So one of those is going right down here towards the bottom. The second one is going up a little bit further. Add a little glue to that. And that one's going like right in this area right here. Cool. Now we have a plant pick that we are going to stamp hello. That's our greeting for this one. This is also in that pack. We're going to ink that up, bring this pick down, and we're going to stamp hello. Rock it slightly to make sure you get the top and bottom of all those letters. And we're going to get rid of this ink. Now, this is going to go in the pot, but it doesn't need to have that long pick. So I'm going to trim that pick off, and on the back side, I'm going to put a dimensional. And then this will slide right in there beside your plant and kind of angle it a little bit this direction. All right, let's see. The last piece that we have to put on are the druzy dots, and I love these things. These were we were carried over from last year, and I absolutely love these things. They're so nice and sparkly. All right, the big one goes up there. One small one is going in near the hello, and then the other one is going down here in this area. And then your card is ready for sending. I hope you enjoyed stamping with us this evening. If you would like a free card kit to make two of each of these cards, be sure to place your order by the 20th. So you have a week to do that, but sooner is usually better because it won't slip your mind. So place your order for $35. You'll get the free kit, includes your embellishments, all the die cuts. Everything is ready to go except for the stamping. Then that needs to be done, I think I mentioned, by the 20th. So that gives you a week. If you would like an extra set of embellishments, that will be an order for $50 or more, and you'll get that extra set of embellishments. So we meet here every month on the second Tuesday at 7 o'clock. So put that on your calendar, and we'll see you again in May. Take care.